Saturday, March 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, only on Showtime.
Nick Charles with Steve Farhood here in San Antonio. Steve, desperation time for Armando Guerrero.
Toss the scorecards out the window, that's for sure. He's not winning on points.
And for Guzman, you made the point. He's been impressive on national television and gotten people's attention. He doesn't have to knock this guy out, but does he finish out cautiously, or does he go for it a little bit? Let it all hang out. Not all hang out, but maybe open up even more.
Well, he can't open up any more than he's been. I mean, he's landed his best shots. Nothing's happened to Guerrero. He hasn't even put him down. Unlike our first time with Guzman when he knocked Del Ruiz down. So, yeah, it makes you want to see him against tougher comp. That's the bottom line right here with Joan Guzman.
Guerrero continues to come forward, but again walking in without throwing shots. And that makes him a target. Joan Guzman putting the moves on.
Usually when a fighter like Guerrero takes this kind of punishment in a fight, cumulative punishment over 8-9 rounds, there's a cut, there's swelling. He's not cut, he's not swelled, he's still coming forward. You'd never know if you just tuned in that this guy's taking a pounding for 8 rounds.
He has been happy to trade, but he is getting the worst of these firefights. Guzman still coming on big. And why not? He hasn't been discouraged all night. Guzman steps around and cracks that left to the body. Good move, and tries it again there upstairs to the jaw. Guzman just setting up and blasting. He's sitting down on his punches now. He may be opening up a little bit more and trying to let it out a notch. And he there, flush on the jaw, and that may have rocked Guerrero a little bit, who backs up, but he comes out firing off the ropes.
Guerrero doesn't know how to hold or doesn't want to.
I think Guzman may be going for a little bit more here. He holds his man's head and lines him up for a right, and now a left there. Here comes the uppercuts flowing.
Is it too early to wonder if the corner should be thinking about packing it in for their fighter?
Guzman with a chilling right, then a left, and then another left. And yes, with that in mind, Steve, based on what we just saw, that could be a consideration.
I mean, that's close to a 10-8 round.
I agree with you. You don't have to put a guy on the floor. And it's Guerrero sucking it up and walking slowly back to his corner.
I know he did. I know he did. I know he did. I know he did. I know he did.
That's all Santori says. I know you got him.
I know he did. You got to keep your left hand up a little better, baby. Keep your hand up a little better, a little better.
You did great. Keep pushing him to work to the body.
You don't like it. You don't like it, but you don't throw him enough. You don't throw him enough, and you lay a hand, put you against the rope too much. You know you got to move around. You lay a hand, push, just push.
So here he is letting out a notch here, Steve.
That's his strength.
Again, the combinations, boy, he really, he loses a lot of his hand speed when he really dips down like that and throws the left hook. But at this point, Guerrero is not in a position to be defending himself properly, so those shots are landing. And I don't know if you can call that round 10-8 if you really wanted to. Brutal punishment that Guerrero is taking.
And Guerrero's trainer, Raul Adams, with a mixed message in the corner. Keep your hands up, but then fire punches. Hard to do both, but he is getting hit. As Guzman tags him again to the body. Left with bad intentions. Guerrero with a double hook there.
still good power on Guzman's shots, especially the left hook.
There he leaps behind that left hook lead. He's there with a right lead, and then he's upstairs with the left. Solid combination punching by Joan Guzman in gold.
Textbook offensive display by Guzman. How to land punches against a fighter with a high guard. You can punch through that guard, right in between the gloves. You can punch around it, or you can draw the other fighter to punch first, and then counterpunch when his gloves are not in front of his face. Guzman's really doing a little bit of all of that.
You're right. And by going to the body, at times when Guerrero drops his hands, then he gets smashed in the face. So not a good scenario playing out here with a Texan in black. As we wind down to the 1 minute mark, it's Guerrero absorbing more shots here, and Guzman continuing to pour on the pressure. They stand and trade, and Guzman in his face, but then not there to be hit. So
Slipping beautifully.
He is. But Guzman is hard to miss. Jabs, hooks, or crosses. Or I should say Guerrero. And now Guzman eats a left hand, which did nothing to discourage him. We can feel these punches here, Steve, right in front of us. Guerrero still fighting back as we close in on 15 seconds.
Brutal, absolutely brutal battering. I'm real impressed with Guerrero's toughness. Unfortunately, against this level of competition, that's not going to win him any fights.
Joan Guzman closes the show and drops the curtain on a polished performance here in San Antonio, Texas.
Corner was mad at him because they went.
No vamos, que se fuerte. Fuerte, muy fuerte. Está viendo.
Well, Steve, as you mentioned, you brought up the fact that he totally outclassed this guy, Joan Guzman, ranked number 2. Maybe egregiously, that's too high by one organization, but given the exposure, the things you talked about, in this polished performance, how does this help Joan Guzman?
Well, it helps because it's on national television. You got to see him against tougher guys. That's the bottom line. You know, Armando Guerrero, he's tough, but he's not world class. And it seems that this Dominican 122-pounder is world class.
Liked a lot of things what he did. Footwork, hand speed, balance, in position to punch. And as we look at Armando Guerrero, he was the obliging victim here. Never stopped coming, though, Steve.
Tough kid, but again, Guerrero, 2 amateur fights against Guzman, a 96 Olympian for the Dominican Republic. He says he was 11-0 versus Cubans. I can't document that, but you know, his class showed and it told.
And Guzman telling the American audience, you had to like what you saw.
And just watch how the punches flow. Not just do they flow, but from all different angles, uppercuts, hooks, overhand punches. When you have good balance, you can do that. You can throw punches. That left hook there might have been the closest we saw to Guerrero going down. He actually stumbled a bit, but tough guy.
And we go up to the worst kept secret in sports at this moment. Who's going to win this one? But let's make it official with our ring announcer, Tom Garcia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have scored the fight, and it reads as